Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Deckin Around Community Corner. Today we're really excited to sit down with Matt Fujiwara, also known as 52 in Tuck, to talk about cards, collecting, photography, and everything else. What's up, Matt?
Matt,
You guys.
How you
you
doing
made
today,
it.
man?
You made it to the show.
It took like an hour to set up, but we're good.
Dude, that's what it's all about, though. You know, we enjoyed the experience so far. We've had a fun little pre-show here. Now it's time to jump into the meat of it, man.
I mean, let's be honest. Being a photographer, it does take some time to set things up. So now you're all set up. You're good to go, and perfect.
I don't do a lot of selfie type setups. Usually I'm like pointing the camera as opposed to pointing it at me. So I'm not really good with the whole setting up myself type stuff.
Well, all eyes on you right now, buddy. Hate to break it to you.
So, man, how have you been? How's quarantine and COVID and everything been treating you?
Quarantine and COVID. It's all right. Had I think 2 job changes or a job change, but we actually got the Kickstarter deck finished. I'm pretty sure that had to do with having more free time and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which, and you have your Kickstarter live right now with Diamond playing cards, right?
Yeah. I don't know what they like to go by because
Dutch House. I think Dutch.
Yeah,
House.
Dutch Card House. Yeah, they have so many different like names under
know.
like which they like run their stuff.
No, I mean like because I think Dutch is the top one, right? Like
Parent
Yeah.
company, yeah.
And then but I'm wondering if they started with Diamond first, and then after it did good, they started Dutch. You know what I mean? Because like the Kickstarter isn't under Dutch; it's under Diamond, right?
Yeah, it's under Diamond. Yeah.
But it might be because does Dutch? I don't think Dutch has their own Kickstarter, do they?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if they do actually. Now that I think about it, yeah,
they had individual. They have Leaves. They have Diamond.
Paisley, yeah, all
Paisley,
those. So yeah. So how's that been going though? How'd you end up getting involved with all that too with Diamond? Like I know you kind of tell a little bit of the story on the campaign, but why don't you tell us a little bit here about how you got into working with Diamond playing cards?
Playing cards. So I probably started like when I first started shooting for people, I would like ask, like if they need promotional shots and stuff. So I would go around asking people because nobody knew who I was yet. And I think when I shot for Diamond, I had just done my own shots, not for any other purpose than I liked the decks and I wanted to take photos of the decks.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, and then you tagged them in the photo and stuff, and so they saw that, and then we contacted each other that way. Then they were putting out, I think, the green one and the Diamond 12 was coming out.
Nice.
So I did promotional content for that stuff.
Nice.
And then the Paisley Black Worker deck is actually like one of my favorite top decks, I guess.
Such a great deck.
Yeah. I think it was the first time I had like a crush stop anything, maybe.
Nice.
So I don't know. I just kept in contact, kept shooting their stuff, and then I was like, "Oh, it'd be funny if we did a deck." And then they were like, "Okay," and I was like, "Okay."
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good brand to get in with, because they're so friendly. They're interactive in the community. I've always got super quick responses when you communicate with any one of their accounts.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a brand that is respected in the community.
And then I have Dutch grandparents too. I'm supposed to say that. I have Dutch grandparents. Like they're just make sure that like, oh yeah, you have a Dutch background.
That's too fun.
Where are they even located? Where are they located?
Wherever Dutch people are located.
Holland? Yeah, I think they're in Holland. Yeah.
I think that's on their tulip, right? The tulip playing cards. It says Holland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think
nowadays though, people can live anywhere. It doesn't even matter.
Oh yeah. But I'm pretty sure. At least I know the designer is in Holland.
Yeah.
Very cool. And so now, was designing a deck of cards something you kind of always had your mind wrapped around, or was it something that kind of just built from that relationship?
Oh, you mean from them? No.
Yeah.
I always had it. I think for me it wasn't about really my name or anything. Like I didn't want to be recognized really, but it was more. I keep putting money down for decks that I like, you know, a certain percentage of, but there's things that I don't like. So like, why wouldn't I just make money? I mean, put money down on something that I like everything about.
Yeah.
That was kind of my thing. But then what I realized quickly was like, you know what you like, but you may not have the skills to make what you like.
Yeah.
So getting a designer was probably a really good thing.
Yeah. I mean, designers can always take a concept to the next level, right? We can, you know, put ideas on paper and they really have a way to grow and expand that idea. You know, it's kind of like a photographer. If someone comes to you and is like, this is my idea, you know, you have the ability as a photographer to create that image based on your knowledge. And it's kind of the same way for, you know, a designer.
Photography for me, like, it's the same. It's something that you don't really plan for. Like, I write down shot lists and stuff, and I know what shots I want to get. But when you turn the camera on and you point it, it's never really what you were imagining, I guess. Yeah. So like designing for, I'm sorry, so to connect that, to designing the back was like kind of the same. Like I had an image of what I wanted to go for, and what we ended up with was not even close to what I had originally wanted, you know? Not saying that it's not what I want, but it's just like your creative process takes like a different direction.
Yeah, especially when you're collaborating, right? You're collaborating with someone, and you know that's the whole beauty of collaboration is you put ideas together, and you know you grow that way, and you know directions change.
Yeah, definitely, because you see things, or they see things that you know you won't see, and then they'll bring it up to your attention, and then from there I'll see things that she doesn't see. So it's like a constant like back and forth of inspiring each other, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, this wasn't your first deck that you worked on, you know. You have a couple other decks, you know. I know you did a deck for your friends, you know, for one of your friend group, which was an awesome back design, by the way.
It's all right.
No, it's better than all right. It was a dope back design. I don't know how many people have seen it, you know, but it is on Matt's Instagram. So yeah, so it's not like you're not capable of designing a dope background. You know, I mean, a back design.
I think from what is it? The Red Fox, and there's another one that I just found today. It's like a watercoloring deck.
Okay.
They're the first two people that I know of who like draw on physical paper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not like a drawing artist or anything, but I think I would have more creativity if I was drawing, kind of.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about that. They said they do it on like an 8.5 by 11, pretty much like a piece of folder paper.
Yeah. Are those the decks we're talking about right there?
They are, but they are not. So she grabbed the wrong one, but I don't want to say anything. This is the RSP one. I don't know how close I should hold this.
You can hold it closer if you want.
Yeah.
Down a little bit.
The glare.
Down a little, up a little, up a little. Perfect.
Right there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a dope design. I love it.
Yeah, I really dig it.
This is a group of my 3 friends, actually. And then this is the 52. This is the one you're talking about.
Yeah, that was the one that you allowed other people to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, super cool as well.
And so how'd you actually end up getting into like playing cards, like collecting and all that?
Chris Ramsey.
I mean, hey, that's a fair enough answer. I feel like a lot of people these days are really getting into it because they saw a Chris Ramsey video.
So I'll go further. Mine's actually Peter McKinnon. So I started with watching videos on, you know, photography tips. And then he would have Chris Ramsey occasionally in his videos, or he'd talk to Chris Ramsey or talk about Chris Ramsey. So then I went to that, and he was literally background noise in the beginning, because like I would do the videos of him like doing the puzzles. So I would just like do work on a project and have that playing in the background. And then when he started doing like tutorials on slights, I was like digging in my closet for my 2002 blue riderback bicycle deck.
Nice.
The only one I probably had.
Nice.
So from there, yeah, it was what I think Illusionist probably, and then SoCal, and then
Nice.
Wounded Corner.
Nice.
Nice. Thanks for throwing that in there.
Yeah.
And I mean, have you found that since you started collecting to now, and obviously getting more into it from a magic base into a collecting base, has your kind of taste in cards changed in that
Oh,
time?
Definitely. In the beginning, when I was with Illusionists, or getting Illusionist decks, that was just like, oh, this looks cool. But then you didn't really take into consideration packet cuts. You didn't take into consideration like fans and stuff.
Yeah.
So those stopped, and then I think I checked out Knock for a little bit.
Mhm.
Nice.
But I mean, I have like base rules for what I'm looking for. Like, I think I'm not against borderless, but it's just, if I'm gonna use it, I would prefer border.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it splits kind of already from there.
Yeah.
But I'm noticing that like when you look at the deck, like just one card, you see one thing, but when you're actually using the deck for sleights and movement, you see like a completely different thing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
So
Now,
yeah,
do you-
yeah.
Now, do you I mean, you said you like border decks. Are you mainly more towards, Magic rather than cardistry, or?
I'm not into magic.
Uh-huh.
Maybe definitely not gimmick magic,
Right.
but I'm interested in sleight of hand probably the most, and that can go into like some cardistry. Like, not all cardistry is like real cardistry. Like, there's some cardistry stuff where it's pretty much just sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Over and over.
Yeah, like
Yeah, so-
fans and basic like hand.
Yeah. So like
Okay.
I guess my genre of what I like to do with cards, or why I like them, or what I do, is right in the middle between cardistry and sleight of hand.
Yeah. Things that complement sleight of hand.
Yeah.
No, totally. I totally agree. Now, what about on the collection side? Like you said, you kind of started with Illusionist and dabbled in some Knock, and then what do you find to be your favorite now that you've collected for a while?
Man, it's changing a lot, because there's certain brands that I'm buying their stuff just because I want the collection from that brand, but I don't necessarily like that specific deck. That started out at maybe like 3 brands. Now it's down to that started at like 5 brands. Now it's at like 2 maybe.
All right.
You learn about the people behind the brand. And
Yeah.
that for me really, like, I can like your stuff a lot, but if I don't like you as a person, I'm not going to give you my money. So
Yeah. And I mean, that's interesting. I think that's very admirable, I guess is a good word. I know a lot of people don't care, so I think it's admirable, the fact that, you.
I mean, it sucks when the person is an asshole, but they're
Yeah, that's so true. It's so true. Yeah, no, hey, it's true. But the cool thing is there are enough amazing people that have amazing brands as well.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, I tried using such and such deck by such and such person, but just when I look at it, like, the feeling that I get far exceeds what I'm visually seeing.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
what the person made is like, oh, it's nice, like I can look at it all day and I can use it all day, but when I'm using it, I see more than just what's on the card.
Right.
Yeah, and that changes like how I feel. So
100%, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm the same exact way.
But
I
that-
think. Yeah.
in the same circle, there's people who are really cool people who make really ugly decks.
I hear you, and you still buy them to support them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I hear you.
And that's one of the interesting things about the community, though, too, is because there really is that supportive aspect of it in the good parts of the community where people really do they're willing to go that extra length and be like, listen, like it's not the best looking deck, but I'm really good friends with this person. I really support what they do, or they're really outspoken and for the right things. And so you back it, and then you end up finding those decks. You take a couple pictures, they go to your back of your closet for a while, and you don't see them for a bit.
Yeah, but then for the same thing, like when I look at those, like the background of those is like initially it's like whatever, but then I know it brings in, you know, memories and thoughts about the person, and then it makes it a little bit better. Like there's some pretty simple designs that I actually really like, and it's probably more so because of the person, but like I don't know, like even Nox, like I went through a period where I could look at the back of Nox just because of the marking system, right? So I'm initially staring at a white piece of paper with a bold, solid colored block, but I'm looking at different parts of the corners.
Yeah.
So something that simple can still have, I guess, you know, attributes to it that you can admire.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you need to have like magnifying glass eyes to be able to see their marking system, but it's definitely intuitive. It's really cool, the concept behind it, for sure. I'm blind. I can't even see it, so I don't even bother looking.
I don't know what the new ones are. The new ones are markings for the value too, right?
Well, yeah. So it's kind of like the knockouts. The knockouts are marked for both. So if you have a knockout, you can look at the outer border as well.
Yeah,
and it will basically tell you which suit it is.
There's only four. Whatever.
Yeah, but it's based on the combination of the four corners. On the outside.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean it's.
I think they did that for the Midnights too, right? Was that the first time they did that?
Yeah, that's Kevin Raylick for you, man. The guy's a genius at marking systems. So
yeah, that's his specialty for sure, and he does a phenomenal job with that design. But
I feel like the shooter's deck could have been a really cool deck to mark.
Yeah, I wanted to mark the deck initially.
Yeah.
I feel like there's two spots where it's like perfect for it, but in me being like the first, you know, like I guess it's like a chance they're taking on me because I'm not really so I understand that point of view. I mean, like maybe going forward, now that the campaign is successful, if we do another background or another back design, we could mark that too. But I wasn't, you know, it's a collaboration.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be, you know, half what you want, half what they want, and settle on it. Yeah. But I mean, she made a good point. She said it was kind of obvious, and it would be obvious if we did it.
Yeah, which is okay. I mean, they have reader decks out there that are stupid obvious, but
well, I mean, I have an idea for a deck that I want to do with a specific person. Do I talk about this? I mean, it's not even. I can talk about it.
You can talk about whatever you want, buddy.
It's an idea, so nobody go crazy. We haven't started on anything, but I wanted, just from looking at the back, I wanted you to be able to tell the face, the value, the suit, what number it would be in the deck if it was mnemonic stack, what card is above it, what card is below it.
Nice.
So you could like cut it. I mean, you couldn't use it for Magic really because it's literally just a list. It's going to tell you what's, you know, the card in front, all that stuff. But if you were to cut the deck, you could figure out what card that is and test yourself and like practice what's above it, what's below it. You know what I mean?
So it's like a training deck?
Like a training deck, kind of, sort of. Yeah. But I mean, hidden a little bit. It's not just going to say the next card is Ace of Spades. But basically to help you memorize mnemonic stack better. Like you could just do triple, like, you know, three packet cuts and look at it and you could guess whatever. So
that's cool. No, that's a cool concept. I think there's definitely ideas out there that, you know, should be, you know, taken advantage of. You know, definitely go with the idea. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know,
I'm excited for your deck actually.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But this is about you and your stuff, man.
No, but yours is like super detailed. Like I want to be able to see that.
You will see it, dude. Speaking of detail, show us. You have your deck right there. Can you show it to us so we can see the shooter?
Which, and going back to the marketing thing too, I love the idea of like a fully comprehensive marketing system like that.
Yeah.
And it's not something we see all the time. The only deck I can think of off the top of my head is the Deland Centennial from Penguin, and which is very similar in that sense that there's like multiple markings on the back, and it'll tell you like the card in front, card behind, if it's in stack and everything. And it's a really cool aspect of it, because a lot of times when you're used to a marked deck, you're used to this is the value or this is value in suit, and that's all you're getting out of it.
Yeah.
That's a relic too, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted a little bit more. Is that the DMC? Is the DMC deck? Does that
No. That's the DMC. So the
Deland Centennial that
Deland.
they put out earlier in late 2020 was like a 100-year celebration for the Deland's Daisies, and they
the Daisy and Nifty.
yeah, the Daisy and the Nifty
yeah,
decks.
Yeah.
And they have like a really old school vibe to them too. Like you can tell it's just a modification on like a deck from like 1920 or whatever, but it's really a cool comprehensive marking system they do on it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
let's see what you got,
does
man.
the DMC deck have? I mean, I know the DMC deck is marked, but does it have like all that stuff too?
So I think DMC is DMC fully, or is it just value in suit?
It's just value in suit.
Yeah.
It's like supposedly
But
one of
I
the
know they have
best.
an ad card, right? Like they have like an ad card that has the marker stack in it. I think.
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Let's see what you got, man. Show
Oh,
us.
okay. So I don't have a white prototype. I don't know how close to go.
Perfect.
That's good. Yeah.
So
Down a
this
teeny, down a smidge. Perfect.
There you go.
is what the
Yeah, I
deck
like this.
looks like.
Nice.
It's awesome.
Originally, like we were gonna go for embossed with foil and all that stuff, because like embossing this would have been crazy, like to have it feel like a
Yeah.
lens.
Yeah.
And then if you did like a matte black,
Matt
but-
Black, dude, would have felt so sick. Dude, it's all good though. It's all good, man.
but more important for me was workers deck. I wanted people to get multiple, not just like one, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And not any for like the money. Like I wanted people to use the decks, not just have it on a shelf for display.
Right.
Yeah.
So going for the worker deck design and finances, I guess, was ahead of anything else. So when we did the white deck is going to be matte white paper with I think it's going to be embossed with silver foil, maybe, I'm not sure, and then a red foil for the sides.
Nice.
And then the cards are going to be metallic ink.
Metallic ink.
Yeah. For me, like when they did the ruby red metallics, they didn't put it on the pips. They just put it on the quartz, I think. So whenever I would open like the cherry decks, like that,
They popped. Yeah.
yeah, it's like some people outside, like my friends outside of the card community, don't understand, Jason, why I like the cherry casino decks. Like he thinks it's super ugly, right? But he doesn't collect cards at all. So
Right.
when you like, I don't know, when you're doing slides, when you're fanning, when you're just doing it, like the metallic on the two of hearts, it makes it so much nicer.
Yeah.
No, for
So
sure. I mean,
I think the white one is gonna have metallics do everything.
Nice. That's awesome.
it's exciting. Yeah, I'm excited to see it. You know.
And then
Well,
this was actually the original. The thing was in the center.
Okay.
Yeah, but Nikon people won't understand. We have like a red ring for Canon, and that was like one of the things that I really wanted to have. When you fan it, it wasn't showing where it was in the middle. So we moved it to the sides, and initially I didn't really care for it, but when you're moving the deck around, I don't know how to do it this way, but like it's on the top as opposed to in the middle.
Yeah.
You see it a little bit more. Yeah. So
A little bit of a broken border. It looks
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Watch out the mirrors. Steve, you know about the rule of thirds, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So this felt kind of rule of thirds-ish to
Totally.
me.
100%.
Yeah, as opposed to this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that technically that is as well, but
Is this rule of thirds?
I mean, it's in the middle, right?
Right.
It's just not as
30.
It's just not as delightful to look at. Yeah, I mean the sides are definitely. I like it.
Yeah, the sides are. And the thing is, with the central, the only way you'd really get it is if you're doing like a
Right.
table spread. Yeah,
Right.
and there it'll still look good, but you lose so much more of it on like fans and everything that you're really trying to do and flourishing with it. It looks awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so good. Dude, I love that Joker.
And the Ace of Spades.
Nice.
Which and we were looking at the campaign earlier, and I was telling Steve like I love the autofocus like elements in the center of all the aces, and the fact that the aces are like full size central pips and everything.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, dude. You know what you really need to do is reach out to and I'll hit you up on after to reach out to a couple of the Canon blogs and some of the photography blogs.
Scared, dude. I'm kind of scared. Like, what if they're like, "Oh yeah, that's a nice design. We're gonna sue you for copying us."
It doesn't say Canon on there. You're good. It's inspired by it.
I was kind of concerned about this though. I mean, I don't. She said it was fine, but like, I don't know if this is. You know what I mean?
Nah, you're good.
Okay,
dude,
cool.
It doesn't say. You know,
I mean, like literally just this, but then like actual Canon like logo would be sick.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think what you did is awesome. It's super clever. Yeah, I mean, I love it. Obviously, I'm a little biased. I'm a Canon user, and I love photography, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I wonder if anybody's going to come out with a Nikon edition.
Well, that was supposed. Well, plans. We had plans to.
Yeah.
We have plans to do more than just Canon. So I was thinking about the next ones being Nikon and then maybe going to Sony or something. But to be honest, I think it would be better if all of the tucks were the same. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And if we did Nikon, it wouldn't be the same. So I don't know if we're gonna do Nikon.
And the deck just wouldn't be as good. So it's all good.
Photography nerds.
Nikon NTT version.
Yeah, but no, I think that's great. And we obviously look forward to seeing whatever you have coming out after this. And obviously there's so many things that you're involved in. Tyler and I were talking about it, and I personally would love to hear about your deck cuts. You also cut decks, and it's not like something that you.
And for a while, you're doing the card potions. I think the creative aspects in general of how you kind of fall into a lot of the more creative outlets for playing cards. What drives you to get involved in a lot of that as well?
Inspiration, I guess. So this would be Forrest of Spades.
Yeah.
Nice. Dominic's a great dude.
Yeah. So I had actually hit him up. Oh man, years before I even had these, I hit him up, and I was like, that thing you got is like really cool, and as far as I know, there's nobody else that has that. Like, you should do something with it. Like, I don't know, not brand it really, but just try to push it.
Yeah.
And then I guess he had, I think he created like a website and all that stuff for his own things.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my train of thought.
Just kind of how you got into the potions, talking to Dom and saying he should create it. So cool. Yeah, I mean, that's so cool.
Yeah, that's sick.
This is SoCal.
Nice.
So the potions was like from Dom, and then I started taking pictures, and I liked it because it was shooting playing cards, but it wasn't shooting playing cards.
Right.
You get tired of shooting boxes over and over and over and over again. So by giving this and putting this inside of the shots, like, it made it a little bit more fun for me, I guess.
Yeah.
But initially I wanted something to do with the ad cards. Like, I had a pile of ad cards and I didn't know what to do with them. So this for me was cataloging what I have without having to see everything. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, it's so clever. The idea of that just is so cool. It's so beyond my thought process of creativity.
Well, I mean, there was what is it called? The Impossible Bottle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, which is essentially the same thing. It's just a deck, but yeah. This is
Nice.
diamond.
Nice.
But this was the first one I did with like a hole through it, like through
That's
the
so
whole
cool.
deck. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, which
that.
I really dig that. Yeah, that transparency through
Yeah.
it really makes
Yeah.
everything else pop and adds like a light element to it, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And then I think the first dual one I did was this one.
Nice. The
Oh.
oxygen, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So
Which that's
cool.
such a fun one, yeah.
And then I
And just
actually got into this from Intricates.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, he's amazing.
There was a guy, was it Dan Art, I think?
Yeah, Dan,
Dan
Levin, yeah.
Yeah. I think I found something from him first, but then I went to his page and I didn't really stick around. It was probably a few seconds, and then I went to one of his hashtags that he had posted, and I found Intricates.
Yeah.
So I hit him up and I was like, I'm gonna start making these things. Is that cool with you? And then he said like, yeah, it's cool. And then
Outlaw.
I
So
started-
cool.
yeah.
That's dope.
Nice.
And
Yeah,
then I
dude.
did,
So cool.
I think I did 2, and someone was like, how much does that cost and where can I get it? So from there it took off.
Yeah. Now, how? I mean, obviously, it's not something that you know widely put out there that you do it. You know, I know a lot of people forgot that you did it. You know, and
Oh, I stopped.
yeah. I mean, how long does it take you?
So I do mines in one sitting because I don't like being disrupted like
Yeah.
halfway through the process. So I do mines in like 6 to 8 hours.
Wow.
I think. From the time I sit down and start cutting the first card to the time I'm done and I put the stamp on the bottom and everything, yeah, it's like 6 to 8 hours.
That's so cool. Yeah, I mean, it's so creative. Like I'm so inspired by people that can create those things that which obviously isn't difficult, because, and I'm not saying that's not difficult. What I'm saying is not difficult is beyond my creativity level. That's very easy, but yeah, I mean, I just, it's funny because I think we did it live and I did a card. Like I cut one card as a joke, and I mean, it was a disaster,
Okay, so actually let's break it down. There's like this is actually one of the first ones that I did, so it's not really good.
I love how it's stuck in the display
Bro,
case.
that's carrot case in a carrot case.
That's funny.
Plus, there's not a lot of weight, I guess, because the cards
Yeah.
are lighter now.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh, yeah, so it's in a DS1 to hold it all together yet. See, yeah.
Nice.
This is like one of the first ones I did. So there's a lot of like, it's really not clean cuts. There's a lot of mistakes and stuff. But if you look at this, there's maybe 6 cards that are cut and the rest is just spacers.
Right.
Okay.
So you come up with the design, you cut the 6 cards you want first. And then once you have that, then it's just cutting frames.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So it's like, I'll have music on for cutting the leaves out, cutting the snake out, I'll have music. And then once I'm done with that, it turns into a movie and I'm just cutting squares out of the cards, pretty much.
Yeah, dude, that's so dope. I'm gonna tell you a little secret that I haven't seen anybody do, and I think someone needs to do it who cuts. Okay, you ready for this?
Okay.
Nobody takes a marker and colors the cut marks, like the cut of the card. So when you look at the cut, you can see white from the card bleeding into the design. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So somebody needs to take some Sharpies, just get a set of Sharpies, all the different colors, and when you cut, you color around the cut lines so you can't see any cut
I was very close to cutting you off and saying I already did that, but I did black.
Yeah.
The deck, I don't have it, I sold it, but the deck was black,
Right.
and the design was black, so when you cut it, you could see the white lines.
Yeah.
So I colored that border black.
Yeah, that's the same thing, but
No, it's
do it
not.
with every
Your idea
deck.
is a lot better. Your idea is way better.
Dude,
If you
nobody
actually
does
color
it.
match it, yeah.
You literally, like Tal and I have talked about this many times, and we're like, dude, nobody does it. I have no idea why. It'll make a cut look 1,000 times better. As amazing as cuts look,
There,
it
there are
was just
there are certain cards though that when you take a Sharpie and you like mark this side, it looks like roots, like tree roots.
yeah,
Because
I guess
because it bleeds into the grain. Yeah.
yeah, it bleeds in like at different, whatever.
for sure.
So in that instance, it's not gonna work.
Right.
But I'm sure there are certain cardstocks, maybe like the thicker ones.
You know what you
the
do?
thick ones, maybe they bleed easier. I'm not
You know
sure.
what you do? You paint gloss nail polish on the edges, and then you paint the gloss. I'm telling you, it'll work and it'll look dope.
Somebody, man, I can't remember who it was. It was either Mox or Shin, but one of the guys in the group that I was in, like, he did a deck cut of the koi deck, but he put like resin, like water in it.
That
and
was that Matsuda design?
Yeah.
it was either him or the other guy, but somebody in the group did it, and that was the first time I've ever seen
Oh my god, it was so good.
resin like on. Yeah, like he made like a thing. It was a thing. You know what I mean? It's not even a deck cut anymore. It was like it was his own piece of art.
It reminds me of that. There's an artist that actually does the resin. Doesn't do it with cards, obviously, but that's probably where the inspiration came from. But I mean, it was amazing, and I just think that creativity, taking things to the next level, whether it's Scott Dyer with Karigami card cutting, or folding, I guess you could say. It's just that inspiration that someone gets and takes and goes into something totally different.
Well, I was thinking of a deck is this thick, and when you do trainers, you get about 4, right?
5.
Okay, yeah, sure. So, what if you did like miniature 10 cards, like cut, like a cut of this, and then you put that in resin,
And then make it into it. That would be really dope.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, you need to reach out to gliders.
The gliders, yeah.
That would be really dope.
It'd be thick.
I mean, yeah, it would be thick. So maybe, it would probably be a bare minimum of so many cards. But I mean, it doesn't even have to have depth to it. You could just like this octopus one doesn't have a lot of depth to it. But that card doesn't exist in the deck. Like I kind of created it, if that makes sense.
Oh,
like this doesn't exist in the deck, right? Like this card doesn't exist in the deck. It's just a combination of different designs from the deck.
The snake doesn't?
No, yeah. Well, I mean, it's like a combination of
The snake and the leaves and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying like this is an actual one card usually.
Right. Yeah.
And that might even be a way you do it if instead of actually using cuts in the like the cardistry trainers themselves, you create a cut to be photographed, and then that photograph could be integrated into it. That way you can mimic the depth to some extent. So you could still have, a 10 cut depth without it necessarily being 10 cards thick.
Yeah.
My original goal, or not original, but one of my goals was this carrot case.
Yeah.
I wanted 6 decks to be cut and to have a hole through the whole thing.
That would be sick.
So it would be, I guess, 6 of the same decks. And then you could have the same design, but it would just be like stretched.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you were to look at it this way, you would see like, you know what I mean? Like all the way to the back. Oh,
It'd be kind of like Alex's kind of season.
Yeah, the NPCCD decks. Yeah.
The Hall of Mirrors kind of. That'd be cool. Dude, such cool stuff. You have so many creative ideas, and it's cool to see. Hey, dude, if boredom creates amazing stuff that you're creating, then be bored more often.
Yeah.
Actually, I've been with cards for longer than my usual phase of things that I like, if that makes sense.
How long
that's
have you
good,
been
though.
involved with
Kind of changes a lot, but cards I've been stuck on it. Cards and photography. So
How long have you been into cards?
2000. Let's see, like 2 years
Oh
ago.
wow, you've been
Pretty much
around for
right
a
when you
while.
guys started, like right when you guys came around, because you guys talk about it too, right? Like how long you've been doing it.
2000. I started
No, he said
2018.
he said 2000, and then he said 2 or 3 years ago.
I thought he said 2002 or three, and I'm
Oh,
like,
sorry. Yeah, no.
You know,
Two,
it.
2 or 3 years.
yeah, about 2 years. Yeah,
Yeah, Steve. Yeah, I think Steve's going on 2. I'm going on a little bit over 1. So,
yeah, 2
Pretty
years
much
in
whenever
May.
Ramsey started doing.
dude, I think so many people in the past like 3 years probably were brought in just from Ramsey related stuff because
for
of
sure.
like either his first decks or the video. I feel like even now, even though I've seen the video like twice, it still pops up in my recommended viewing. It's like I spent $10,000 on my playing card collection, and I'm like, all right, I already watched this one. Get out of here. But like so many people probably stumbled across that, and they're like, oh my gosh, how can you spend $10,000 on playing cards?
I think the first Chris Ramsey video I've ever seen was the puzzle with the glass jar, and he had a stick with like a nut in it. That was
yeah.
that was the first one I ever saw.
That's kind of recent though. That's when he was started doing puzzles.
So whenever that is, that's when I was watching Chris Ramsey.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Mine was this one. When I don't know what it's called, but you show it. Can you see that? You show the deck. You put it down, and then you push it in, and then it's at the top.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Where he slides the thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Such a great trick. I love it.
Yeah, his slides. I mean, you all like. First, it's just interesting. Like, how did they do it? I want to know how they do it. So you watch the video. Then it gets to the point where it's like, okay, he's starting. Pause. I'm gonna go get a deck of cards.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like I don't like looking at these bicycles anymore. I want to look at something else.
Yeah. I mean that's the thing. It's like, I mean, have you always been a collector of things?
Of things, probably. Yeah.
Like baseball cards and
No.
hats or sneakers?
I wouldn't say a collector. I change hobbies a lot, but I get like super obsessed about it.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
You know, I'm 100% the same way. I get that.
Yeah. So I think before cards, it was comic books for like a good year and a half.
Okay. So you are a collector.
Well, no, before comics books, it was music. I was playing a lot of music, so that's not like
Right. What about before music?
Before music? Oh no! It was camera stuff, and I was buying a lot of gear. So yeah, maybe I'm a collector.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think people who are collectors / obsessed with hobbies, I guess you can say, kind of, they're all the same type of people in the aspect of, I think they have addictive, not addictive, but
Yeah.
I mean, I guess kind of addictive personalities, right? Once they like something, they dive, head on.
Well, yeah. So for me, like, I think ever since I was a kid, I always used to create games, like with rocks or sticks or whatever.
Oh,
Right?
wow.
So I used to do that. And my favorite types of toy as a kid was Transformers because
Nice.
I liked the fidget factor of it. Like G.I. Joe is just whatever, right? This is a guy, this is a guy, whatever. But Transformers was like, you just sit there and I would do it, from the truck to the man, to the truck, to the man, whatever. And so I think since then, I've always been obsessed or interested in things to do with my hands.
Mm.
So a deck of cards, like, solved all those problems. You know what I mean? Like from my door to the elevator, I have a deck of cards in my hand. In the elevator, from the elevator to my car, I have a deck of cards in my hand. And it's just like constant fidgeting. But at the same time, it's like a fidget spinner is a fidget spinner. But this is like I'm practicing something. You know what I mean? Like I'm creating tricks or I'm practicing tricks. One of the two.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's funny. It's like a fidget spinner for people who don't need a fidget spinner. It's like there's more to it than the actual purpose of fidget spinning, right? It's like you're doing it to, for repetition, for practice, for, just to get something down better, I guess you can say, Now, what's your favorite brand of decks? Like your go-to, other than shooters, obviously. What's your favorite brand?
You mean like the whole line or the person or
You know, if you had to carry the same brand of deck like forever, what would it be?
same brand?
You know, it could be Riderback. It could be
No, it's definitely not right.
it could be Paisley. It could be, you know, like something like that.
I would say, yeah. Well, see, okay, if I said Paisley, then I'm stuck with the same design but in different colors, right?
Well, right, but you could say Dutch House.
Oh, okay.
So a brand itself, you know, it could be
This
yeah,
is
a
hard.
brand.
Like brands, I've never thought about brand wise. I thought about like individual decks.
All right, give me your top 3. Let's do it. Let's make it easier. Your top 3
Brands.
top 3 decks that you would have to take on an island if you got stranded.
Top 3 decks if I took on an island if I got stranded would be the Teal Cherry, the new one.
Mm-hmm.
Entry 01,
Nice.
and probably a tie between Orbit 5 and Fontaine Carrots V1.
Nice. Sweet. Good
I mean,
choices.
okay, so like, yeah, brand wise, like Orbit's really good, but I'll be honest, I don't really like all of his designs, but I'm down to back his brand. I'm down to get whatever he puts out. I think he's a really great guy. Yeah.
Yeah, we love Chris. You know, he definitely has a good head on his shoulders. He knows, you know, what his brand identity is, and he cares about the community. You know, which is cool. It's always easy to, like you said, follow someone that, you know, that is that way. You know, based on what they post, how they talk. You know, and like you said, they might come out with a deck that you're not too keen on, but you'd still buy it to, you know, support them.
Yeah. Pretty sure what is it? Orange? It's gonna be orange.
I think so, yeah. You don't look too enthused. Are you not a fan of?
I think his orange would be nice. Like,
Yeah.
I think Orbit 5 orange would be nice.
Yeah, I think he went with like a faded, like a muted orange.
Like that's nice.
It looks cool, yeah. It's not like in your face.
Yeah.
Which is
I think
cool.
I'll go with Dutch, and it has nothing to do with me working with them. They have everything. They have the tulip playing cards and the seasonal one.
They have the
those
hidden
are
leaves.
Very artsy. Each card is a little different, right? Like they have the background and stuff. They have the diamond, which is for cardistry.
Yep.
And then they have leaves and the
Paisley.
which is just like elegant and nice.
I love Paisley. They honestly put out some of the best Paisley decks too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if I had to choose one brand, it would probably be Dutch, just because they cover all the corners.
Yeah. And I always love to see what they come out with the diamond ones too, just because the colors they use and the shapes. It's nothing like crazy, but they always look visually so amazing.
Yeah.
Nice.
You should see what they're working on now.
Well,
Come on, man, that's not fair.
well, we do know that they're working on the shooters, which are up and awesome right now. So
Yes. When are those live till?
Huh?
When are those live until?
February 27th, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So by the time this airs, they very well may have already been closed and they've already funded.
Right.
But you know, they're a great looking deck, and I'm excited to see what else you come up with. Not just you and Dutch, but you in general. I think it's always fun to see the new creative outlets you come up with, whether it be another deck next, or you figure out the next thing that inspires you. Maybe cut oceans. Who knows?
Oh.
I wanted to team up with Forrest, man. Like, I wanted to do something with it. Like,
Dude, make it happen.
Make it into more than just this. You know?
Yeah.
Dude, reach out to Dominic.
He's awesome, yeah.
I talk to him kind of regularly. Maybe not like every day, but I talk to him. Yeah. Like, especially like Intricates and Forrest, or anybody who's doing something similar to what I'm doing, or I'm doing something similar to what they're doing. Like, I try to make sure that we're on good terms. Like, I don't want, you know what I mean? Not necessarily competition, but it's just like, I'm not trying to compete with you. I'm not trying to outsell you or say my cuts are better than your cuts. And it has nothing to do with that. So like keeping like a good relationship with these people, to me, is pretty important. Like, You know what I mean? They're not necessarily a brand, or they're not necessarily like a company or anything, but it's just the community is so small, man.
Absolutely.
Very
Yeah.
It
true.
really is.
Yeah, 100%. And I think you know, that's important that you say that. You know, and I think we all need to keep that in mind, and you know, work together with each other. That's, you know, it's a small community, and you know, we're all affected when something in the community is not going, you know, the right way. Let's just say, you know, when
It
there's
gets
definite
hard with moves though, like cardistry moves. Sometimes I literally just came up with it on my own, and then like I'll practice that, and then a week later I'll see a video, an old video from like 2017 of a guy doing this exact same thing. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So for cardistry, I wonder how they do it. Like it would be hard for me to just freestyle and then be like, oh yeah, you know, credit to such and such and such and such and such and such. Like I don't know. For this, it's a little easier.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I mean, I think what it comes down to is, for the most part, other than crazy, like crazy manipulation, most simple manipulating of cards has been done. You know, it might not even be documented. We talked to, you know, Kevin Ho about it, and it's just, there's just so much that wasn't documented, or was documented. There's just no place that it lives anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so I think if someone does say, "Oh, look what I came up with," you know, and someone points it out that no, that has been around since 2016. This is who did it. Then you're like, "Oh, cool." You know, you don't get so not you obviously, but don't get so upset about it that you didn't create it.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
of course.
And,
Yeah. There's even, I
it's
mean, that
it,
even happens in the shots, like the photography world. Like
yeah,
there, there, there are a lot of shots that have been taken already, but maybe not in the card community. So if somebody were to take that shot, they didn't necessarily create it. It's not there. You know what I mean? It just hasn't been applied to cards yet.
yeah. I mean, and I think it's funny because you could take, I mean, you and I could get the same deck, take pictures. They're going to look 100% different. 100%.
Yeah.
And that's the great thing about different styles, right? Is your style is your style. If I saw any image pop up on my feed, I would see it and I'd be like, that is Fujiwara's photography. You know, and I'd like to think that if people look at mine, they could do the same thing. You know, and I think that's the kind of the beauty of, you know, our brand, I guess you can say, because it is all technically a brand, you know, and you know, we stick with what we're good at, right? And you know, I obviously there's not a ton of photographers in our community. There's a lot of people that take pictures in our community,
Yeah, there's a lot.
but they're not photographers. And when I look at all the people that take shots or that are photographers, I can see the differences between all of them. You know
Yeah,
what
the
I mean?
stylistic differences.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And you know, it's, you know, maybe the layman doesn't see it, but as a photographer, it's easy to pick out the differences, you know, in that work.
You like shooting on the corner of your desk with a pink and blue light in the background?
I'm gonna start doing that. Let's all do it. Well,
I'm shooting on
hashtag
the corner
Kier.
of my desk with a blue and a green light on.
I'll put a blue and a purple light.
There you go.
We'll all
Oh my God.
hashtag Kier. We love
No,
Kier.
but his like, so Kier was in the beginning too, probably. Don't move it.
Yeah, he's been around for a while.
Yeah.
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 So, I think for me, I came in right around when he did his collection. He had it all on like a desk, and he went through pretty much not his whole collection, but he went through his collection. From then, I started following him, I think.
Nice.
And you can, like, his photography got way better from then until now.
Yeah.
And that signature, like people saying like, oh, if it's pink in the background, it's Kier Gomez shot. Like that's a compliment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it is, though. The more time you spend on it, obviously, the better you're going to get at it. It's just a matter of, you know, putting hours into it, whether it be photography or anything, really. But it's always nice to see when people do take that, like, next step and work to get better at what they're doing, especially, you know, with Kier or anyone in the community.
Yeah. So I guess I don't know, but I guess people have been saying that my signature is like reflection and a bulky colored background.
It's yours is definitely what does it remind me of? It kind of reminds me of an amusement park mirror room.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of it's angular. I mean, that's kind of not the best word to use.
Well, I shoot.
It reminds me of like when it rains out and you take photos in the rain at
Oh,
night
looking out
of a window.
window.
Yes, but not with the like the confusion of the window. You know what I mean? So it's like you're looking out, you get that reflection, but kind of like it's rainy off pavement, and that's the feel I get from yours. Whether you're doing potions in a cabinet or you're doing your hallway effect, I think it's still the same style and it's still cohesive. And I think that's what makes a great photographer, is that cohesiveness, and that when you can distinguish their shot from anybody else's.
I think definitely I shoot at night because I can control the lighting, right? When you shoot during the day, you have to deal with clouds and whatever, if it's sunny, if it's not sunny, or if the sun's going down, it gets darker, you got to change your settings. That's irritating to me. But there are, like, I do get tired of taking like the same dark shot, like setting up the same stuff, and so I need to push myself to Oh, I'm supposed to show this.
Let's see it, man.
Let's definitely check this out.
Dude, we saw it in the Kickstarter campaign and we were super excited. It looks.
And then the white one's here. We don't have a white prototype because, and then the coin is going to go over here.
That's really dope.
Okay, it reminds me of an SDK folder.
I actually don't use this for that. I take this out, and now you just have like an empty case, right?
All right.
And it's like camera batteries, screwdriver. I have like extra
SD cards.
Yeah, like camera stuff, and this goes in my camera bag actually.
That's really cool.
Because I'm trying to keep it's the only one I have. So if she asks for pictures, I need to take pictures of this. So I'm trying to keep it nice. But eventually, this is gonna turn into like a case that I actually physically use, and it's like a hard case too. So
sweet.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
I love it. I love how it integrated into.
Stay away from that regular wooden box like set. Yeah,
and it makes sense. It's cohesive with the deck. Yeah. Oh, good stuff, man. We look forward to seeing what's next, and obviously the campaign's doing great, and we look forward to getting them in our hands.
Yeah, I think we passed the stickers, so we gotta actually get on the stickers.
Oh, cool.
Nice. The stickers are always fun though, but no, the campaign looks great, man. And honestly, I think part of the reason we had you on, obviously, this community corner is because we just love what you do in the community and how visible your stuff is. Being a photographer, you obviously have a unique view and look on your page, but I just think it's the stuff behind the scenes, the cutting, the potions, the inspiration you take and the way you make it your own is just really awesome.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely, our pleasure.
We appreciate you being a positive voice in the community, and it's awesome.
Hey, so the Wounded Corner deck, is that still happening?
Yes, March 2nd is the proposed date of the Kickstarter.
That's for the Visions one, though. Are you talking like the branded one or the Visions?
No, the branded one.
Yeah.
Oh, well, did I show you? I don't know which one I showed you. I have a couple.
You showed me one, and then I cut it. And
the one that you cut. Yeah, it'll happen. It'll happen eventually. I have a few other decks before that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Visions was before, like initially? Like,
no. The signature one was first, then Visions, then working with Cam Tona on a deck right now.
Nice.
And maybe after that. We'll see. I got some ideas, so we'll talk beyond this.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, amazing chatting with you. Now that I can see you have a face, because I don't think I've ever seen your face before, so I'm excited.
I think I've done like 2 or 3 videos, but yeah, I don't really. Yeah, I'm not shy about it or anything. It's just I don't really like putting the camera on me. Like I'd rather be behind it.
I hear you, man. That's what photographers do. They stay behind the camera,
No doubt.
not in front of it. This is all, well, not new for me anymore, but it's it definitely had to get used to it.
No doubt. Dude, thank you, Matt, so much for coming on, man. We really do appreciate talking to you tonight. And yeah, this was a blast, man. We can't wait to see what comes from you next, man.
Well,
Peace.